Hey, I'm Brandi Fullwood, and this is Seattle Eats. It's a podcast about the Seattle food scene and the best things to eat in it. We are back with more restaurant openings and one closure. Seattle Times food critic Tan Vinh is here to share the latest from around town, including why a trailblazing Cambodian restaurant closed after claims of financial mismanagement. But there's buzz that's building around 3 intriguing new spots offering crowd-pleasing cuisine. There's Afro-Brazilian food in Pike Place, critically acclaimed sandwiches, and unique Asian baked goods. Location seems to be part of the success here. Will they be worth your time this summer, though? Let's get into it. Hey, Tan, it's been a minute. It's nice to see you again.
Brandi, so happy to be back.
Yes, you still have that lovely vacation glow about you.
I know. A month in San Sebastian is great.
It's changed you for the better.
Came back 8 pounds heavier, but here I am.
8 pounds happier. How have you been eating since coming back to Seattle?
Oh, man, I've been eating so much trying to catch up. There's like tons of new openings.
Doesn't it feel stressful to have to eat for work?
I know, this is a champagne problem. There's no sympathy, right?
Right.
No one's doing that world's smallest violin gesture at me right now.
Well, the sympathy is that KUOW doesn't cover champagne, so it's not really a champagne problem. We're going to talk about a handful of openings that are adding hype and I think diversity to the Seattle food scene. But Let's first discuss a closure. Sophon and Phinney Ridge just closed. This was a Cambodian and Khmer restaurant, and it closed after the restaurant certificate of registration was revoked. This is the certificate that allows businesses to collect taxes. Yeah. But this is kind of like tip of the iceberg problem, because this is not just like a restaurant foodie closure issue. It's a labor story about financial mismanagement. There was a lot of backlash that mostly played out on Instagram. For what it's worth, chef and owner Karuna Long did admit that he mismanaged funds and didn't really know what he was doing. This was after the staff walked out the week of Valentine's Day. That's at least staff told reporter Harry Cheadle that they had not been paid. This is really complicated closure, and it's also a cuisine loss. Compared to other Southeast Asian cuisine, it's more rare to have Cambodian food in the Seattle scene, but also, national magazines like Bon Appetit named Sophon a trailblazer. How do you describe this loss here, Tom?
Brandi, I would say since this restaurant opened, and I'm counting, 3 national publications and 2 newspapers have reached out to me or had reached out to me to ask about this place. That's how much traction they have, right? And I think people want this to succeed so badly. Because when you think of Southeast Asian cuisine, I think you think of Vietnamese food and Thai food. And this was food for another culture that we usually don't see.
Yeah.
I remember the first week, Brandi, I could not get in. The lines were long and I had to come back. And I think the problem that we have here is there was no focus. And you hit the nail right on the head. And that is, he is more of an artist. He's not a good business manager. And from the get-go, I could never get the sense of a place.
Yeah.
I looked at the menu. I looked around. I've been there maybe 5 times, and its food is erratic, and I can't tell if it's a restaurant or bar.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The most exciting things sometimes on the menu were the cocktails. It felt like it was supposed to be a cocktail bar that ended up having to sell food because that's a better business plan.
Yeah, and when these national writers called me up to ask me about this, and what I said was, well, when you get here, I hope you go more than once because it depends on what day you go.
Yeah.
It could be good. It could be bad. It's all over the map.
And it's definitely a shame, but I'm going to deep it a little bit because this isn't just a Sophon situation. Sea Creatures employees at the Walrus and Carpenter were just on strike and honestly remarkably carved out a win in their new contract. These sorts of allegations seem to happen all over the city, mismanagement, pay allegations. They can amount to class action lawsuits or people just leaving, but not every place closes like Sophon. So what's different about this restaurant?
I think in other situations, like you can say it's a matter of semantics. The tax code, the tip culture here is so difficult for everyone to navigate that seriously, restaurants need an accountant to help them navigate this. Sophon is different in the sense that, yes, they had issues, but also there was no one to balance the books. And he just ran afoul. It was just like the textbook case of sunk cost fallacy. You're so invested in it personally that it's not rational anymore. You keep putting money into it over and over again. And this is definitely what he did, because I've heard there were problems with his restaurant 15, 16 months before he even closed. There were problems in terms of paychecks being late. He did not close when he should have. But Brandi, you know, a bigger loss in here that no one talks about since this story broke is that he also owns a great bar a couple blocks down called Oliver's Twist. And that has also closed under his leadership. If you've never been to Oliver's Twist, I would say it's one of the most important bars to open in Seattle in the last 20 years. Oliver's Twist was one of the first to really do craft cocktails. So it brought a lot of attention to this neighborhood because people across the city was going to Oliver's Twist to get cocktails. And Long was a bartender here, and he purchased this bar. And unfortunately, he ran it aground, and it closed.
But, Tan, I don't know, once a restaurant or a bar has this kind of stain on its reputation, it seems a lot harder to imagine going back. You know, when you hear these kinds of allegations or mismanagement and the restaurant doesn't close, like, do you still eat there? Like, how do you weigh that kind of situation as a critic?
I think it's uncomfortable for the public, but for me, I will still go to see what the issues are. Because keep in mind, I'm not going as a consumer. I'm going to see, like, check out the food. I'm going to check out, see what's wrong or what they're doing right. So yes, I still go to these places.
Okay, well, let's shift into something a little more hopeful. You know, a restaurant opening. Let's talk about Baiana.
Yes.
This is a long-anticipated Afro-Brazilian pop-up turned brick and mortar that's now in Pike Place Market. Chef and owner Emmy Collins, you know, as a listener, you might know her from her Chopped success or the fact that she beat Bobby Flay. But this could be considered a big comeback story in a lot of ways. Collins' parents had a Brazilian restaurant in the Ravenna U District area for almost 20 years. But when they decided to retire, Emmy took it over and revamped it. And as a Brazilian P&W restaurant, sadly that version closed. But now Emmy in Baiana in Pike Place Market is back, and she's in the mix in downtown. Tan, this was one of your highly anticipated openings as well. Is Baiana delivering for you?
1,000,000 times, yes. People in the city gripe about how no one takes risks here. It's always smash burgers, now sandwiches, pizza, pasta, high profit margin items. And this is something different. This is flavor profiles that you do not see in the city. And I should warn the listeners, she ran out of food the first week.
Oh, yeah. I want to clue people into the food because the menu is pretty stunning. There are classics like feijoada, the beef and pork braised with black beans. This is the national dish of Brazil. And so now it's in a convenient lunch bowl. There's also fried fritters made out of black-eyed peas and stuffed with all kinds of things like shrimp and okra. But I know that you just went there this weekend. What did you try? What were your must-haves now?
The way I look at it, and also for listeners.
This is such a political answer.
I'm going to answer your question, but for listeners who never had Brazilian food, you look at the menu, it might seem complicated, and you're like, oh, where do I even start? It's essentially just 3 rice bowls with 3 different sauce. It's white rice, one of 3 sauces, and you get meat, seafood, or plantain.
Yeah.
And if you look at it that way, it's really easy to understand her menu. I had the rice bowl with the peanut sauce. I thought that was fantastic. But I thought her best dish was pretty much a seafood stew. It's like white rice with coconut milk cream and green paella, and I had with salmon. It was outstanding. For a first-timer who knows her, because she did beat Bobby Flay, and the dish that she beat Bobby Flay is that seafood stew, and it is offered. So I would imagine that's a dish that everyone wants to try.
Yeah, this is her moqueca dish.
That is her 15 minutes of fame.
Well,
so yes.
Now you can have a bit of it too.
Enjoy it.
Feijoada is great. I think that seafood stew is great. Having them together though, I love that. Sometimes that's like having like gumbo.
Yeah.
It's just like your makeshift Brazilian gumbo. Pike Place Market does seem like a nice spot on paper, like you said, but the crowds, like it was fun for FIFA and it's fun for summer, but I would get tired if I worked down there. Do you see Pike Place Market helping Baiana stick around long term, or does it just feel hard to find right now?
It is just so stressful. I went because I must really hate myself. I went on Saturday morning with all the World Cup tourists and cruise ships. And You know what, Brandi? I don't think Pike Place did her a favor. It is located near where they throw the fish.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, oh, great, prime real estate. But when I went on the weekend, I could not find it. It was only like 10 feet away. But because it was so congested, it was hard to see. And she opens at 11 a.m., one of the later start times. So because her counter isn't open up yet, I don't see the lights. That's why it's also hard to find. But once it's open, I guess it's a little easier. It's like the color motif is Barbie pink?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Cutesy.
Really bright.
You need some arrows, though.
Yes.
Well, speaking of being tucked into a spot, let's jump into the next one because Louie's Deli is open in Europa, which is inside of Railspur in Pioneer Square. Louie's Deli is a counter-service deli spot serving up breakfast and lunch sandwiches. This is, to put it mildly, the talk of the town, thanks to your colleague, Bethany Jean Clement, who just wrote a review for them. If it wasn't hard enough to get the sandwich before 12, it certainly is so much harder, so thank you, Bethany.
And I tell you what, Brandi, whether you like it or not, 2026 will be the year of the deli sandwich shop. And why is that happening? Because what did we know in journalism? You follow the money.
I thought you were going to say people love Italians.
That too. But the reality is, think about this. What do all these sandwich shops have in common? It's bread. Bread is flour and water, high profit margins. What are they serving? They're serving pretty much charcuterie and cold-cut sandwiches. They don't even need a chef. They're just buying the meat, right? So therefore, that's why you see everyone does this. But Louie's Deli does it better than everyone else, I would say.
There's something you have to do to your sandwich in order for it to be like one of the best in the cities. And usually the quality of the bread is one.
Sesame seed roll.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And they make it. And then the actual sauces that you use, how you flick the wrist with your vinegar and oil. Because I like my sandwiches dressed to impress. I want olive oil and vinegar throughout.
And you want that tartness, that peppery tartness.
Yes.
Which a lot of the other ones lack. And they are on point. And if you don't know what we're talking about, get their Italian grinder and you look at it and you go, where's the beef? Like, there's not a lot of meat in there. But again, Italian charcuterie is really intensely flavored.
Yeah.
So you only need a few slices.
I also love how they roll their sandwiches. They kind of do that, like everything stacked on top of itself. So there's that swirl where it looks like all the ingredients are, they all want to be the little spoon.
Yeah.
So it's just like a nice swirl of all the ingredients inside of the whole hoagie, which I really enjoy.
And I got to tell you, you were talking about their location. I would bet they pay nothing for that space because their food, it's more affordable than the other places. They only do 4 sandwiches. They do a $10 breakfast sandwich, but all their other lunch sandwiches are $16. Whether you order the meatball or the Italian grinder. And before you rush in here, you got to set your alarm clock because before the Seattle Times wrote about this, they were sold out by 12:30.
Oh, yeah.
And I would say if you're not there by 11:30, you're out of luck.
Yeah, I mean, you're walking past the $10 breakfast sandwich, but I really like that breakfast sandwich. One, it has American cheese on it.
Best.
I feel like my gripe right now is for breakfast sandwiches, just make it simple and also don't make it $20. But bacon, egg, cheese, simple sandwich. I really love that. Little tiny bits of like bacon throughout, sort of how you fold in the potatoes in a Austin style breakfast taco. It's like you get a bite of bacon and it's not just sliding out at every single bite. So I love that. There's no extra cost for the bacon, which seems really hard to find in Seattle. Sometimes the bacon is $4 more on a breakfast sandwich here. The parking down there, I think, is like 50 cents. They are really trying to make people go to Pioneer Square.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Because we love food culture and we love the hype of things. Suddenly, it becomes an event to go here. If you want to go to this place and it's 11:30, I wouldn't bother getting in my car. You won't find parking. And by the time you do find parking, they'll be sold out by the time you get to the counter. Well, give it another month or set your alarm clock and go around 10 a.m.
Another win for the bus and the light rail. Well, let's get into the next spot. This is Sweets. This is An-Oi Bake Shop that just opened in Japantown. An-Oi is a mix of baked goods, desserts from local bakers, but all under the same roof. To me, this is a pretty interesting model because it's very collaborative. You know, it's featuring a rotating set of Asian American bakers. There will be coffee pop-ups. Tan, you described Onoi as a bake sale. Are all the bakers inside running their own program, or is it something else?
Yeah, I love this model because there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
On the outside, it says bake shop. And you're thinking, oh, it's like a dessert shop. But when you step inside, it's more like an art gallery curated by Vince Vu, who is the owner.
Yeah.
And what this is he has created this space where he has recruited aspiring pastry chef and moonlighting bakers who are Asian, and he gives them a platform. He gives them a shelf. So when you walk in, you're going to see a picture of the baker, a bio of the baker, and some of the bakers bake good. And when I went there, I think there were 5 different bakers, but he will have up to 12.
Yeah.
We could go every month, and there'll
Yeah.
be new baked goods. And that's what I'm down for.
Yeah, people love something new, especially us. This isn't the first version of Onoi either. You know, Vince Vu, the founder and baker, built a following selling cookies around the city at pop-ups, including Hello M, where I tried them first. Hello M's the Vietnamese coffee shop.
He debuted it last year, and one of his first events was at a coffee festival. And I thought that was one of the best cookies I had. It was fantastic.
What was it? Was it the fried banana cookie?
Yes.
I knew it.
It's
so good.
is what it's called. And that is fantastic. And the good thing about owning your own shop is you're not part of the rotation. That is a permanent display.
Yeah.
So you can always get his banana cookie.
He's like the Chihuly of the Chihuly garden.
But what I love about this place is because it's rotating, you can try like different baked goods every month. For example, I had the black sesame brownie. And this is the first brownie I had in 15 years that didn't have marijuana.
Oh my gosh.
and it was fantastic. And I was thinking about this. When was the last time I had brownie? Didn't have edibles? I can tell you it was like, I think 15 years ago, I was at a house party and I saw this tray of brownie. And I kind of assumed it had edibles, but sadly, it didn't.
15 years of not having a regular brownie is so funny.
Sadly, this party didn't. It was, how do you say this? There was no pot at the potluck? Is that the way you put it?
Jeez. Well, now this brick and mortar version of Onoi has way more than cookies. No edibles, no cannabis included. Sorry to the people. But there's butter mochi, there's Rice Krispies, there's nougat, and other cookies.
A lot of pandan desserts.
Yeah, it's kind of like collaborating with other people's childhoods. Did you taste that too?
I did, and I don't think that people realize they also have one station of rotating barista or drink program. When I was there, they had a fancy gourmet Vietnamese coffee drinks.
Yeah.
Saigon style. And I think he's going to have matcha. And after matcha, he's going to have a Taiwanese oolong tea.
Yeah.
So, interesting spot. We both live near this place.
Hey, give me a ride.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go there every month.
Well, what are you doing after this?
Oh, yes. We should get some cookies.
Well, let's get some cookies. Let's get a couple things. Tan Vinh is a food critic for the Seattle Times. You can find even more details about openings and closings that he's loving right now at the link in the show notes. Thanks, Tan.
Thanks for having me, Brandi.
That is it for today. We have a list of all the restaurants we talked about in the description of this episode. Seattle Eats is hosted by me, Brandi Fullwood, and you can get in touch with me at seattleeats@kuow.org. If there's something on your mind, though, about the Seattle food scene, maybe it's a funny story, maybe it's the collaboration dream for cookies you've always wanted, we have a voicemail box set up for you to call us at 206-543-8510. This show is produced by me and Jonathan Chang, and it's edited by Jim Gates. Seattle Eats is a proud member of the NPR network. You can find more and support the show at kuow.org/eats. And all of this information is in the description of the show. Alrighty, talk soon.